What is going on, guys? It is Tony and Mark from Lone Wolf Paintball. He's not on vacation, and today we're going to answer your questions.
So, Facebook group, we set it up a little while ago. It's growing steadily. You got questions there. It's the best place for us to go to kind of keep all your questions together in one area where we can find them, we can respond. Sometimes we respond right in the post. Sometimes we make a video like this.
That's very true, because obviously on the YouTube channel, there's a lot of comments that get thrown out there, and we can't get to each and every single one of us or one of you guys. So, like Mark said, go to the Facebook, hit us up, ask us anything, and you'll find it.
So let's get started. So first off, Brandon Webb wants to know, what's your opinion on the Vanquish 1.5 with a V16? And what are the differences between the 1.5 and the 2.0? Just looks. And if you were playing a mech tournament, would you prefer to use an Autococker or something like an M160R? So let's start with what's your opinion on a Vanquish 1.5 with the V16?
The V16 engine, it was the upgraded engine. It's a good gun. I've seen a lot of people rock it. Personally, I'm more of a PE kind of guy, but the Vanquish 1.5 is a great gun, especially if you've got that upgraded engine in there. So that would be my answer for that.
Do you know what the differences are between the 1.5 and the 2? Like what upgrades?
I believe it was the bolt system upgrade, and then obviously they changed the looks, but overall there wasn't a huge system upgrade per se. I mean, still, it's going to be a Vanquish for you.
All right, and last one, we can both answer this one. If you were playing a mech tournament, are you using an Autococker or something like a 1M70R?
Oh boy. I mean, Autocockers for years have been known to be obviously one of the straightest shooting closed bolt system guns out there. But now that it's kind of evolved with technology, the M170R is obviously a lot lighter. It's got a lighter trigger pull. You can't really short stroke the M170R. So personally for me, I'd probably shoot the M170R in a mech tournament.
I agree with that. I haven't tried any like the new Freeline Autocockers or the modern build Autocockers as much, but in general, it's safe to say like the Autococker's going to be less air efficient.
Correct, and it's heavier, and if you're running around in the woods for quite a long time, I mean,
yeah, you
got
a
little lighter.
Better chance something's going to go wrong, a hose is going to pop. There's a lot of mechanical issues. Now, I love my Autocockers so much. They're so cool. If I'm doing a tournament, I'm even using an EMAC 100 before I grab an Autococker.
Correct, just because they're so finicky. If the timing's not right, or Mark said the three-way wasn't adjusted, there's a lot of issues that can go wrong. But if it's finely tuned, it's a great gun, but I would probably go with something that's going to be less, chance of breaking out there on the field.
So, great question, Brandon. Thanks for the submission. Jacob McMahon, do you guys plan on hosting a tournament? Looks like Joe already answered this. The Metamora field's going to have an airball field. They've been leveling and putting in the grinds. So you'll be able to play airball out there. Whether or not there'll be a tournament there, I would probably say yes. Not 100%, but most likely they'll have something, even if it's just a one-day, quick.
Yeah, those guys are putting in a lot of work out there. Speaking of that, it's a good... Yeah, they're actually doing the drain tile. They're doing it right. Got the bulldozers, excavators out there. So that field should be looking good here within the next few months, I can tell you.
That's where they're putting it where the old speedball field
they're going to be doing an X-ball field out there the correct way with the, obviously, draining off the water and all the good stuff.
All right, Bill Liu, shooting video on different Geo4 SFR settings. What's FSR?
So that would be, I believe he's talking about the solenoid flow restrictor. There's a little, like on the front trigger frame of a Geo, there's a little dial, like all the way forward or all the way back. I think PE recommends to keep it kind of right in the middle. So yeah, SFR, solenoid flow restrictor. I don't know if there's a huge difference if you have it all the way forward or all the way back. We can possibly do that.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. So that's a good question, Bill. It's a good question. We could probably do that.
I've wanted to, building off Bill's, I've been wanting to do one where we adjust the dwell on a gun enough.
To show them how, the difference.
Yeah.
Yep.
But moving on, Michael Sale. I've been checking this tank reg out and it says it comes to... All right, I think I answered this earlier, but I'll see what you have to say. Looking at the tank reg, HAYMKR 500 Gen 3, description says it maxes out at 700 PSI. Looking around other sites say it can go up to 850 PSI. I need 800 output. I want to check if the 700 was a typo. So when you put links to so Punishers and our website have two different numbers.
Yep.
And then I had mentioned, I had commented that if you go to the actual Powerhouse reg site, they've got a different set of numbers for what the reg goes to.
Okay.
So do you have any insight on that?
So pretty much from what I know, if you buy a HAYMKR reg, coming out of the box, they have it preset around 500 PSI for a lot of the tournament guns these days. Guys want to take their shims out of other style tanks and get their lower pressure. So the efficiency, the list goes on. But I believe a HAYMKR reg can go up to 800. I'm almost positive it can because it has an adjustment in there. There's no shims involved. It's kind of like you got a little special tool. You can twist it down or back out. So I think it goes from anywhere from, I think the lowest is 400 up to maybe 800. I think it's 8. But that would be a good question. I can definitely contact Powerhouse and see, what they have to say.
Yeah, because the Powerhouse site said it only went up to 6.
No, it definitely goes higher than 6.
Ours says 7, and I think Infamous's website said 7, and that's where we got it.
That's probably,
and then Punisher's set up to 850, which I can't imagine any modern reg not hitting at least 800.
I was going to say, I think it can go at least to 800, so we can contact them and get you a solidified answer. So
yeah, shoot us an email, info@LoneWolfPaintball, just to remind us, and so they know to answer you direct.
For sure.
Jermaine Nito?
Yeah.
I got a mini GS and been thinking about doing some upgrades. Just wondering if it's worth getting a new bolt for it or just stick with the stock. All right, so I've read some different conflicting. What's your thoughts on an upgraded bolt?
Personally, for me, an upgraded bolt for the mini's not really going to do you too much. The mini, I don't know the best way to put it, it's a good beginner speedball gun, hands down. But throwing in a bolt and this other stuff, I would keep it stock, shoot it the way it is, adjust some settings if you're very careful and you know what you're doing. But an upgraded bolt to me, not really necessary unless you're breaking a lot of paint. If your local field around you has super brittle paint or bad paint, maybe try to get something with a soft tip. But if your local field has good paint, I would probably just keep the stock bolt in there.
Now, do they have soft tips, just adapters on those?
For the stock bolt?
For the mini, yeah.
I don't believe so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Jordan here mentions he had some trouble with his after he switched the bolt. And
they're very finicky with the bolt and the spring that has to click in on the front. So I would try to keep it stock.
Yeah. Anytime you put a third-party object into a stock item, you always risk the run that it's not going to work perfectly.
Correct.
It's do your research.
Yep.
Right? Ask people, find people that have done it one way or the other. I don't like being the guy that tests out stuff with my gear. Anthony Sambale?
Sambale, yeah.
All right, I'm back to butcher names. That's what I
No,
hear to do.
You did pretty good.
Where can he buy an IVcore for his GO2? That's an old...
yeah, the GO2, yikes. Probably my best bet, Facebook BST groups, to be honest. Yeah.
So...
yeah.
Dennis Michael. That's Mitchell.
Dennis Michael.
I can't even pronounce
That's Dennis Michael.
It threw me off. Is he doing the first middle name thing?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, man. Are you guys going to allow FSR at the Metamora field eventually? What's stopping you guys from doing it?
So first strike rounds, SFR or FSR. Probably, eventually, yes. Just a lot of walk-on players and newer players don't really appreciate that shot, per se. That's what I can tell you. And I know for a while it was a big thing with the insurance companies that you couldn't really... It was kind of a gray area with the insurance stuff, so I'd have to check back in on that one.
Yeah, the rounds of the FSR...
Have the fins on them.
Yeah, with the fins and the higher velocity that they could go, didn't fall into the same projectile rules that the current round ball did for the insurance, which meant more liability because they weren't going to just blatantly... allow you to run whatever you want.
So there pretty much wasn't enough research done in the beginning for the insurance companies to say, yeah, we'll allow you to run that at your field. So it's kind of a gray area still, and check back with us. Send us an email, and we can get back to you.
Yeah. But again, like he said, too, renters don't want to get mixed in with guys shooting first strike rounds from across the field.
Correct, because first strike rounds... they hurt. They definitely hurt more, and those things can shoot extremely far and very accurate.
So save those for your private parties, guys. Austin Houghton. Gear bag videos are fun. Why not show everyone what everyone at the shop is using as their main setup, including Jake and Caesar? So Jake's done a gear bag forever. You've seen Caesar's gear. It's an Autococker or an EMAC and stuff because we use it in shooting videos all the time. It's been a minute since
we can do another one with Jake
again.
because he's obviously a full-on character, keeping that lightly, and B, he's always got some interesting stuff in his gear bag. So just go on our YouTube channel, which you're already on, and you can search, go through the videos. Jake's gear bag on, what would be the title, you think?
Just Jake's gear.
Yeah, Jake's gear. It's on there.
You'll see it on his channel, and you'll see at least 2 of them on ours.
Yep.
Maybe that's something we do while we're in Arizona, because we'll
yeah.
all have our gear.
Yeah, that's cool.
And it'll be interesting to see what did you pack with you versus not bring. So
good question, Austin.
Yeah. And he's back again. What's the best paintball gun ever made? Ever made, in your opinion? Ooh, that's a loaded question because there's a lot of criteria.
I mean, paintball's been around for 30 plus years, so ever made? I mean, are we talking efficiency? Or are we talking the shot of the gun? Talking, oh my.
So, I would argue, so an Autococker in general is one of the best ever made because it helped evolve the sport into something
Autococker,
more.
yeah.
But then, the first electric, was it Angels that were the first? They had
Angels
the electric
boards,
and they were cheaper and affordable.
I mean, I think Angel was, I'm not going to say they were the first electric, but the first, wow, holy cow, that is a $2,000 crazy machine right there. So.
Well, because I remember that took a hit on a lot of the stores that were selling super crazy expensive custom Autocockers, and then people were like, yeah, I'll just put that electric Angel together and just shit on you at the field.
Correct. So best paintball gun ever made.
I mean, it's got to be something modern then now.
I mean,
they're more efficient than ever. They're lighter than ever. They shoot. I mean,
yeah. Honestly, that is a good question because I'm thinking wow, the LVs are really nice. I mean, the Geos with the IVcores are really nice. The Luxes are really nice. Man, I'd have to really, really think about that one.
Yeah, there's a lot.
And I don't even think there's a true answer because, like I said, are we talking air efficiency? Are we talking price point? Are we talking the shot? Are we talking spool or poppet valve? There's a lot of things that go into it.
And at the end of the day, everybody's got their own preference, right?
Exactly.
So I could sit here and be like, no, the Luxe is definitely the best gun ever, and it comes apart toolless now, and it talks to you, and you'd be like,
and I could say
but I
can
get all those features for $600 less. That makes that gun better. So it's subjective.
Just do your research if you're looking at buying one.
Edward
Valeska?
Maybe?
Yeah.
Are higher-end regulators worth the money? And if I could make a reliable budget-friendly setup by getting a not-so-expensive tank and top-tier reg. Okay, so is the reg more important than the tank?
Yes, a lot 100%. Of the times the reg is way more important because you can get some cheap aluminum. You're going to have stripped out. You're going to strip out your ASA. The threads on your tank, if you're just kind of crank it on, are going to get ruined, and you're going to buy a new bonnet for the tank. I would say go and look for a good regulator, 100%. You're talking either Ninja Paintball or Powerhouse Paintball.
And the reg will most likely, if you take care of it, outlast the tank anyway.
Correct.
So when it's time to, rehydro or find out you can't because you've been using a really old tank, then hopefully
we're talking difference of low-grade aluminum on the bonnet, high-grade aluminum, and then there's stainless steel bonnets out there as well. So definitely look and do some research on getting yourself a nice reg.
Larry Green, can you suggest the best regulator for his Geo4? I mean, you just hit the two, a Ninja Pro V2 or a HAYMKR.
Yeah, is he talking the reg on the tank, I'm assuming, obviously, because the reg is internal on that gun. So, yeah, I'm sure he's got to be talking about a tank reg. Yeah, obviously, Ninja and Powerhouse, definitely.
So, and that's personal preference.
Yep.
I'll let you pronounce that one because I'll just slaughter that.
Mako de Yuko?
I think it's Mako. That's the only part I think I know. Yeah. I got a carbon pod belt and want to get Virtue PF 165 pods, yet most people say the lock pods are bad for strapless belts as they would open easily, whilst I feel like it would be way more common for a lock pod to open the normal pods. Are lock pods really that bad for strapless belts? So the lock pods are the ones that you push the button and they pop automatically.
Yeah.
Right?
So I think you got Ryan on there saying buttons to the outside. Would highly recommend that, because if you're sliding and diving, the button is turned on inside towards your body. It's going to be pressed, and then you're going to lose your paint. So I wouldn't say they're bad for a he's talking for a strapless pack, right?
Yes, sir.
So I wouldn't say they're bad. You just got to have them in the right position.
Yeah, it's all about orientation, and like anything else, right? Maybe newer pods are going to be less likely to pop open on their own versus something you've been playing with for 100 games where now the latch is loosened and everything else. So that's stuff to consider too.
Buttons to the outside if you're going to use them, though.
So outside, like back.
Like towards not on your body. Yeah.
Okay.
Could you do a video on the Geo4 programming? Also, how to adjust the SFR, because when I turn it down, only puffs and balls roll out. I heard adjust the dwell. So this is Beto Jimenez.
Yeah, this isn't the same person I'd asked before.
No, I mean, so first off, I'd recommend, guys, it comes from the factory. These guys are geniuses over at Planet Eclipse. They send a gun to you out of the box, ready to go. Put your tank, put your hopper on it, and go play paintball. The dwell and the SFR and all this stuff you read about, like the techie guys online trying to do. What are you going to gain? 15, 20, 30 balls more out of a tank fill? Like, pull it out of the box, turn it on, and shoot that bad boy.
But this is what kills me, though, right? Is the idea that, well, I figured out if I adjust my dwell, I save that 10 PSI,
right. Yep.
So I got 10 more balls at the end of the day, for an example. But what did you sacrifice, right?
Correct.
Did you lose 10 feet in velocity and distance? Did you? Does it not coming out as hard, and now it's not breaking as often? You're like, why are all my hits bouncing? Like something's giving. Like Tony said, these guys that are designed the guns and set the factory settings, put them to what they consider the optimal for the best pressure, distance, air efficiency.
Correct.
If there was some secret setting to make it better, they would just do it and ship it that way.
Because then they'd be selling more guns, because people would be like, wow, these things are just thrilling.
There's no reason for them to be like, you know what, I'm going to sell you this Ferrari of paintball guns, but I'm going to make sure it caps at 40 miles per hour. Like, that concept makes no sense. But
well, a lot of people, obviously, the internet talk, okay, if I lower my dwell, I'm going to get better air efficiency. There's a point to when you hit the a low dwell point setting that, like, it won't cycle, your solenoid's not enough time to open and close, so I would just leave it alone. That would be my opinion, but I can do a programming video on it for you, definitely.
And we were talking about playing with the...
the SFR.
So I've heard if you glue a pen spring to the end of your bolt, so when the paintball falls, the bolt pushes, but then there's that pen spring there that gives it that extra push.
Oh, yeah, that would probably be a good one.
That's my new room where I'm
There you
spreading. Go. Cade Venables? So when I shoot my gun, an Axe 2.0, it's sometimes accurate and sometimes not. Whenever I shoot my teammate's gun, it's always accurate. We both use the same barrel kit and the same insert. Is it just the gun?
So same insert, same paint, this and that. I would say check your settings. Make sure you didn't accidentally adjust like a dwell setting or something like that, because sometimes when you get on those guns, if that setting did get messed up, they're going to kind of bog down on you. Accuracy wise, I mean, are they using the same paint? They said same barrel kit, same insert. That's good. Obviously, probably using the same paint. And sometimes, I mean, are you guys using the same tank, the same regulator? Just depends. Is your regulator dirty? Does it need to be cleaned? There's definitely things that can go into that. But first, check your settings and make sure they are set at stock.
Yeah, set everything to stock and give everything a nice, good cleaning and fresh lube, just to make sure you're not got to plug something somewhere. And if you can't figure it out, then you take it to a gun tech and have them look at it and see if maybe...
Ryan Milton even says, are you using the same paint? Source, not type. And if it's not been stored properly, rotated... exactly. So paint will have a big factor in that.
Timothy Rideout. My CS1 will turn off on its own randomly, and all the batteries have been switched out already. Somebody asked what brand of batteries he's using, but he didn't answer. Yeah, shitty batteries will screw you up because they don't put out the right, I can't remember if it's voltage or amperage, doesn't come out as much as what the gun needs. So that'll shut you down.
I was thinking that. I was reading the next comment as well. So batteries, make sure you're using a good Energizer Duracell. Don't buy the crappy stuff. They do have an auto shutoff, which is mentioned in the next comment by Bill Liu. And then thirdly, sometimes if it's a CS1, I mean, you're getting older. I mean, the board, it happens. The board could be going bad. So it's not very often, but that's a possibility as well.
Is it possible? Can that standby time be?
You can change it. Yeah.
Check too that somebody didn't go in your gun to screw with you and set it to some other number just so it shuts off sooner.
Right.
Wouldn't it be funny? You set it to like 1 minute, so when somebody's standing waiting for the game to start,
it shuts off on you. Like, wow, that sucks.
Vito Velasquez. I have a Spire 3 280 round hopper. Can I buy a regular size Spire 3 shell and just swap the internals, or do I need to buy a new hopper? Yeah, they sold different shells, right? But normally you would buy the regular size and buy the adapter.
So he's got a 280. He wants to go down to the regular.
So you need to find. Can you buy just the regular shell?
Yeah, I'm sure people are out there selling them and swapping them for sure. So once again, hit up the Paintball BSTs, and yeah, it will work though. Yep.
Daniel Valdez, is my mini GS supposed to turn an amber color when he turns it on?
Correct. Yes, it is, because that would mean the eyes are on, and that would be, I'm pretty sure, mean there's a ball in the chamber.
Jorge Garcia, I'm going to skip his middle name.
Yep.
We can get MACDEV XTC and XDR reviews. Quality's jumped up. I personally think they're one of the best shots and barrel systems of the game. I've talked to Joe about trying to get a couple MACDEV guns in here just to test and give them a fair shake. Generally, we don't review stuff that we don't actively sell, and we don't actively sell things that we don't believe have a solid track record. If the quality's gone up, we need to reach out to a MACDEV rep and see what they'll work with us on, so we can make sure that we're confident. Because the last thing we want to do is sell you a gun that you're going to have trouble with.
Yeah.
Right? And then it opens a whole can
I mean,
of
that
worms.
can happen with anything. Obviously,
True.
A brand new gun could be, hey, it's sometimes you get a lemon, but from what we've seen over the years and what players around here, shaky track record, but if you are, I think Jorge says he knows multiple reps, have them get a hold of us. Send us a gun. Let's put it through the ringer, do a review on it, and give it a fair shake, like Mark said.
Yeah. What? Oh, no.
QE
error. Justin Jones, thank you for today's video. No problem.
You're welcome, Justin.
That was questions. See here.
Trying to figure out which ones we've done. And
yeah, because I asked that. Yeah, that was before. Jordan Holden, everybody rocking mini just for a year now, ready to upgrade to something much better. What do you guys recommend for guns between $700 and $1,300? I play all the time and would like to start getting into some more tournaments. Currently looking at the amp, the Luxe, the 170R, and the XLS. So
I'm gonna say between $700 and $1,300. I'm going with the Shocker amp. Going with the Shocker amp or the 170R.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. Yep.
Yeah, they don't. XLSs are out of date, and only if you're.
I mean, we sell an extreme amount of amps out of here. Hardly have any issues with the things. I shoot one myself, and it's a great gun. So.
And he's a self-proclaimed PE guy, so how weird is that?
That's true. I do like PE. They're great products as well.
Zach Gardner, trying to figure out what marker I want. I have no local store, so I really can't hold the markers, but I've done a lot of research, and it's between a Luxe X, an LV16, and a CS2 Pro. I like opinions on people who use these guns. Well, that rules me out because I don't use any of them.
I've shot all of those, and they're all, they're great. It's honestly personal preference. The LV definitely has a way different shot than the Luxe and the CS2 Pro, no doubt about it.
So I'm curious about something though, Zach. You have no local store, so you can't hold a marker. So do you not have a local field that you can go and hold other people's markers?
Right.
Like teammates or
And guys are good at the field. If you said, hey, would you mind if I check that out? I'm sure they're not going to tell you no. Say, sure, man, take a look at it. Go shoot it at the chrono range. You just pay for my paint or whatever. So,
or bring your own paint to shoot for them. But I just want to see. Because that's the biggest difference, right? They're all going to be quality. They're all going to work great. It's going to be which one are you most comfortable with
correct.
holding.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, all three of those guns he mentioned are great. So, what are you currently shooting? If it's a spool valve, is it a poppet valve? And if you like that, then figure out the choices from there.
And don't believe Ryan Fitzgibbon, because he just wants other people to be cool like him with his 1.6 sunglasses. Michael Riley, you ever going to open any outdoor speedball fields? We touched on that, and you answered him. So coming soon. And that's it.
That is it. You guys keep it coming. Keep the questions rolling. Hit up the Facebook page. Ask us anything. If you guys have any questions, we'll try to give you, the best opinion or professional answer as we can. So that's it.
And like us, comment, subscribe. Go check us out. We've been doing TikTok. It's blowing up over there. Kaboom!
Yes, indeed. Thanks for watching. Don't forget shoplomalpaintball.com.
See ya.